All right. Welcome to another episode of the Rhythm and Notes Music Channel. Today I have another exciting lesson for you. For someone who is a complete beginner. This lesson is for those who are complete beginners. Complete beginners. All right. You interested in playing the piano, but you don't know where to start. All right. I'm gonna give you a head start. I'm gonna give you the head start, a wonderful building blocks that you need to go on your journey. All right. Okay, before we start, please do me a favor and like and subscribe to this channel. Like, subscribe, and of course, share the video. Truly appreciate it. All right. So, before one can learn to do these kind of chords, right? You have to understand the building blocks. How do I didn't just wake up and started playing chords like that. Okay. It took time and it took some basic understanding of basic fundamentals. All right. And that's what I want to share with you today. Okay. Before we even start, let's look at the piano. As you can see, the piano is laid out in patterns. Life is all about patterns. Right. And the piano music is no different. It's laid out in patterns. Right. If you look on the left side, we have two black keys. We have three black keys. Two, three. And it repeats. Two black keys, three black keys, two black keys, three black keys, and so forth. It's a repetition. Okay? It's just that when it's all put together like that, it looks very confusing, but it's not. It's just two, three, two, three. Right? And just be having someone to explain just that to you can open a lot of doors to you. Okay, what I mean is that you recognize this is two black keys, right? And below the two black keys, right, be able to compartmentalize your mind. You have two black keys. We have three white keys right below it. Below the three black keys, we have one, two, three, four. Four notes. And if you add them together, 4 plus 3, that gives you 7. That means something. Okay, two black keys. Below them, we have three white keys. Below the three black keys, we have four white keys. Two black keys, we have three white keys. Below the three white keys, we have three black keys, we have four white keys. One, two, three, four. Okay, and that repeats. So essentially, the piano is just from here to here. It's really just from here to here. Okay? Essentially, it's just right here. That's where all the notes are. You have this note. So now, let's get to the next step, which is what are the names? Okay? After you were able to see the pattern, now, what are the names? Okay? Now, we have to start from the white keys first. Understand the name of the white keys because the black keys, as I will demonstrate or show you soon, is that their names come from the white keys. Okay, so we have below the two black keys. All right, be able to put your mind in different boxes. It'll help you memorize and understand things instead of just jamming everything together. Okay, put your mind in different compartments. So now let's put your mind in this compartment. So in this compartments, in this room, below the two black keys, right, we have three black keys. The name of the so we have three white keys. We have C. The first one is C. Second one is D, E, C, D, E. So that's your compartment. Your first room, boom, you have C, D, E, 3. Okay? Now, below the three black keys, we have, starting from E, we have F, G, A, B. F, G, A. Okay? B. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And that's it. And then it repeats again with C. Okay? C, D, E, Repeat after me. C, D, E. Then we have F, G, A, B, C, C, D, E, F, G. Then so forth. Then it just keeps repeating. All right. So, but put your mind in the compartments. Below the two black keys, we have C, D, E. Below the three black keys, we have F, G, A, B. All right. And you need to memorize this. Okay. You have to memorize it. Because if somebody said, give me G, that's not when you're about to go A, B, C, D, G. All right. You should be able to know that, boom, G. Because if I know F, I know G. Because G is right next to F. And this is how I teach all my students. All right. If you know C and I say give me E, I don't expect you to be looking over here, because E is right next to C. C, D, E. So if you know one, you know two or three and more. Okay. So just know where the C is. Just do me a favor today. If you don't know don't learn anything, don't memorize anything, just at least memorize where C is, what C looks like. C is right here. Below the two black keys, C. We call this middle C. C, right? This is C, right? So this C right here, and if I go to another C, it's called another octave. It's called octave. Because they're the same thing, right? C is the same C. Another C, 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 C. We have D, 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 D. They are all the same. It's just that it's a different octave, meaning a different range. They are higher up on the keyboard or lower down on the keyboard. That's what we call octave. Okay? So I say, give me the key of F. I don't expect you to be like, okay, C, D, E. No. You should know where F is, because you know where E is already. So that's what I'm saying. If you know C, D, E, you automatically know where F is. And if you know where F is, you know where G is. You know where G is, you know where A, B, C. And you should know B, because B is right next to C. Okay? B is right next to C. All right? So please do me a favor. Go home, pull up your keyboard, and memorize it. Memorize it. Where the notes are. Know exactly where they are. When just close your eyes. Someone will ask you, where is C? Boom. All right. If you know where C is, where is D? Boom. Where is A? Right? A is right next to B. So you know where B is. So A is right next to it. Below it. Understood? All right. I hope that helps. Now, after we've memorized what the names are. Okay. So now that's the names of the white keys. Let me not jump ahead too far ahead. Once we know the names of the white keys, the black keys are easy, because the names of the black keys come from the names of the white keys. What I mean is that when you go up, right? Up, and then that's going to get us into something we call intervals. Okay? It's going to get us into intervals. This note is going to be called C sharp. This black key, second black key, is going to be called D sharp or E flat, right? So essentially the black keys have two names. Every black key has two names. This black key is called F sharp. Notice below that is F, right? But then the black key on top of it is called F sharp, right? Right below, ahead of, on top of F, which is G, right? Right below G, we could call this G flat. So the name of this is F sharp and G flat, right? So the names of the black keys come from its neighboring white keys. So we have C sharp, and can also be called D flat. All right, and I'll explain what intervals are, and that will help you understand what I mean by flat and sharp. The notes of this right here, this note, second black key in the middle of the three black keys, is going to be either, like I said, black keys have two names. It's going to be G sharp or A flat. This one is called B flat or A sharp. Again, this is C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat. All right. So now that we understand, or at least we have the names down. Now let's talk about intervals, and that will help further solidify your understanding of the names of the black keys. Intervals, very important. Okay, intervals are very important. That's essentially the trick when it comes to any instrument, especially the guitar and keyboard. They they the concept run off of intervals. They run off of intervals. Once you understand the concept of intervals, right? Your you will get a breakthrough in your understanding. You have a breakthrough in your understanding because either the guitar or keyboard, they all have something we call intervals, right? And the chords, stuff like this, they're built based on your understanding of intervals. Okay, and I'll further explain that. So now let's go into what intervals are. So let's go in the key of, so we're on a C note, the note of C. If we go up, right, from here, from C to C sharp, or from this to this next black key, it's called a half step. All right, please understand that. It just from here to here, it's like, think of it as steps. All right, or a ladder, walking up a ladder, right? When you go up one ladder, this is one half step. But when you skip this black key and from here and you jump right to D, from C to D, it's called a whole step because you've skipped one ladder, one step of the ladder, right? So from C to C sharp, it's called a half interval or half step. From C sharp to D, it's still a half interval because there's nothing in between them, right? Here. Or am I wrong? From C sharp to D, it's still a half interval. From D to E flat, it's still called a half interval because there's nothing between them. As you can see from chordy up there, right? Let me see if I can bring my mouse. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Please pardon me. All right. So now my mouse is active. All right. See? From here to here, right? If you see my mouse right here, D to E flat, that's still a half interval. From this black key down, is still a half interval. From E to F, there's nothing between them, right? E to F is a half interval. E to F, half interval. Half interval. Half interval. B to C is still a half interval because there's nothing in between them. C to D is a whole step. It's a whole step interval because there is a black note in between them. I hope you understand. There's a black note in between them. From D to E, it's a whole step interval because there is a black note in between them. All right, now let me do another test. From C sharp to E flat, what interval was this? I'll give you 2 seconds. All right, for anyone that said that's a whole step interval, you are correct because there is a note in between them. See, this right here is between them, so it's a whole step interval. From here to here, it's a half step interval. Here to here is a half step interval. Here to here, it's a whole step interval. Now, what about from this black key to F, or from D sharp to F? That's a whole step interval. Anyone who said that, you are correct. It's a whole step interval, right? And because there is E is between them, so this is a whole step interval. The concept of intervals is something that you should not take lightly because that is a foundational knowledge, very foundational, that you need regardless of which instrument, right? Either saxophone, which I play, either trumpet, which I play, either guitar, which I play, and of course keyboard. I'm just using the concept of intervals. Concept of intervals. That gives you that breakthrough to be able to understand other things, all right? Other concepts. That's the first that you have to understand intervals. That's why I'm taking my time to really explain it. So, of course, from C to F, that's not a whole step interval. That's not a half step interval. It's called what? A perfect fourth interval, which I'll explain later. It's a perfect fourth interval, right? From here to here, it's also a perfect fourth interval, which I'll explain. You don't really need that now as a beginner, but that just another example that there are spaces, right? The spaces in between the notes make a difference, right? Either the name, in naming them, or helping you form other chords makes a difference. The spaces between them, right? Okay. So to recap, from C to this black note is half step. Okay. And I said the black notes have two names. So from C to this black note is going to be called C sharp. When you go up one half step or go up one interval, that note is called a sharp. When you go up, you sharpen it. When you go down one, you flatten it. So repeat after me: up, sharp; down, flat. When you go up, what do? Anybody in the chat? You sharp because you becoming sharp. You understand? As you go up the ladder, you become sharper and sharper, smarter and smarter. You become sharp. As you go down the ladder, you go down. As you go to the left side, you're becoming flat, right? So it's all in relation to the name of the black keys. It's in relation to the white keys. So for example, now another example. So what is the name of this black key? I said the names come from its surrounding white key, right? And not surrounding from far away. It's nearby, right? So this is gonna be in relationship to G. It's gonna be G sharp because you went up. So this is G sharp. It's also called A flat. Every black key has two names. A flat is also called G sharp. This one is called C sharp and D flat. This black note is called D sharp and E flat. Very important. You need to know that. Okay, this is called F sharp. It's also called G flats. What else? This note is called B flat because this is a B and it's a flat. And when you go back, it's called B flat. All right. It's also called A sharp. When you go up from the A, it's called A sharp. All right. I hope that helps and that's very clear. Now that we understand intervals, now we're going to talk about scales. Okay, something like this. Something like that, right? This is called a scale. And how did I get that? That comes from my knowledge of intervals. Okay? Music is pretty much scales. There's so many different type of scales. We have the major scale, which you really need to know as a beginner, and we have the minor scales, right? Minor scale, right? Melodic minor scale. You know, later on I will go into much more depth, but it's very important. You need to know your scales, right? But for now, you need to know your minor scale and your major scale. Now, how do we form a major scale? For example, we're in the key of C, right? When you form a scale, the notes that you start from is the name of the scale, right? So if I start a scale from C, it's going to be called C major scale. If I start a scale from C sharp, right, it's going to be called what? C sharp major scale. See? That's a C major scale. Okay. So that's a C sharp major scale, and then this is your C major scale. Now, how do we form a C major scale? Now, C major scale is we use a formula called the whole step, half step, whole step. Hope that's clear. You want to write that down. Whole step, half step, whole step. So now we just learned about intervals, right? What is a whole step? When we go from here to here, that's a whole step. From here to here is a whole step. And then we say half step. So from here to here is a half step. Another whole step. From here to here is a whole step. From here to here is a whole step. From here to whole step, half step. So the formula is whole step, half step, whole step. So we have you put your one finger on the key, right? And then you count up from there. You don't count from here. Whole step, no, it's this. Whole step from here. So from here to here is a whole step. You skip this, right? So whole step, another whole step. Then from here to here is a half step. Half step. So do, re, mi, fa. Right? Then a whole step. Then a whole step. Half step. Whole step. That gives you your major scale in the key of C. Now let's go to the key of C sharp. How do we get the major scale for the key of C sharp, right? It's C sharp because my first note starting from C is C sharp. So that gives me the C sharp. That means the scale I'm going to play is called the C sharp major scale. So whole step, half step for the C sharp major scale is going to be, so from here, you said whole step. What is a whole step from here? That gives you my re. Another whole step, that gives me my mi. Half step, see, that gives me my fa. Another whole step, la. The whole step, then half step. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That gives me my C sharp major scale. Now let's go to the key of D. D, because my first note is D, right? So that gives me the key of D. All right, so let's form the scale, major scale for the key of D. So we have whole step, half step, whole step, right? Whole step, half step. If that makes sense. I'm start again. From here, whole step, then half step, then whole step, half step. So that's my C major scale. And you can do the same for all the other chords, all the other scales. Okay? All right, now that's just the major scale for now. Okay? How to form a major scale. Okay? In the next video, otherwise this is gonna be an entire class, an hour, more than an hour long lesson. All right, if I were to continue, so I think I'll stop from here and I'll do another recording on how to form minor chords, okay, or minor scales. Understood? It's pretty much the same concept but with a small twist. How to form minor chords. All right, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, look out for the next video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Cheers.